Hello, our people, and welcome to the Girl Boy Games podcast, where I, Lucas Leander, aka the Bearded Panda, and her, Melly Pentla, aka Mel the Maneater, discuss all things gaming, along with the occasional guest that we still haven't had yet. I'm guessing our first guest, and maybe Bibly, B1BBLY. He's one of our friends, so he might be our first guest, potentially.
Probably.
Or maybe Armand. If you want even more amazing content, consider subscribing down below. Please subscribe.
If you're watching on YouTube.
Yes, that would be very much helpful. But today, we are talking about what's been on everyone's brains. This is kind of the big news recently, which is Redfall was booty cheeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is weird because okay, guys, I try to make some content recently on Redfall, right? I wasn't even trying to be negative, right? We like to be positive around here, right?
Yes.
So I'm over here, and I make a TikTok just kind of talking about how, Xbox fans are sad and stuff. I'm like, man, another L for Xbox. We just want some dubs. We just want Xbox to succeed. And then out of nowhere, you got people in the comment section. You got people all mad. They're like, what do you mean Xbox L's? What are you talking about? It's like, are you blind? Are you blind? Are you blind and deaf?
Yeah,
and maybe even stupid?
Don't you feel silly?
Don't you feel
stupid?
like, that's honestly, I was shocked that there were still some people out here, because most Xbox fans at this point are disappointed with Xbox's performance, and they just want them to do better. Most people want good games. I want good games. You want good games.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I love my PS5, but I would like...
We have Game Pass for a reason.
Yes.
Like, I bought Game Pass for a reason. I bought an Xbox Series S for a reason. It wasn't because I didn't want to play Xbox games. It's because I did. And I bought that Series S, and I've been waiting for, over a year now. Just waiting to feel like I can really use it, other than for Call of Duty, in Disney Dreamlight Valley,
Yeah.
I'm like, I bought it for the purpose of getting all of those Xbox exclusives that we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
And, we got one of them, and it just tanked.
Yeah, we keep getting this thing of, when the great plan takes place, when it finally happens, God's plan, Xbox is God, then finally their supremacy will be, it will happen, basically.
It will happen again. The Xbox has risen, and it has not.
It is not, and the plan just keeps on not happening, whereas the plan's supposed to be Game Pass, you get all this value, all this time, and so you have all these games that satisfy you in between these big launches that you get to play day one on Game Pass. Halo Infinite did not do what it was supposed to do.
Nope.
Redfall has not done what it's supposed to do. Hi-Fi Rush was it felt like the beginning of a new era. It was like, finally, Xbox is coming out. This is Xbox's year. We're gonna get Redfall. That's gonna be at least a good game. We're gonna get Starfield. That's either gonna be a good game or an amazing game. We're gonna get the first real competitive year of Xbox, and so far, one of their two biggest releases has now not just done okay.
It did bad.
People would consider a flop if Redfall came out and was a 6, right? Some people would be like, Redfall flopped. This was a genuine flop. 4 out of 10s,
4 out of 10s, 5 out of 10s.
5 out of 10s. Not good
2
reviews.
2 out of 5s. Whatever your rating scale is, it's doing so bad.
And so, I guess, okay, so I played a little bit of it. You haven't played any of it yet? I don't think, guys, I know you want her opinion on how it feels and stuff. Don't waste her time. Don't waste her time. This game is not good. I played 1 hour, and I honestly, even for the content, I could not get myself to play anymore because it was
and I work, I
you work a genuine job.
I work 40 hours a week, and I'm tired, and I have other games that I do have to play for content. And so this was one that Lucas was like, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna see how it is. After we found out how poorly it was doing, I called him on the phone later, and he was like, you don't need to play this. He's like, do not waste your time playing this. I played like an hour and a half. It's just as bad as people are saying it is, and I'm not even that far in the game. And there's no way it's getting like better.
No,
you know?
It's not getting better. The best you can hope for is maybe an update to like obviously clean up the glitches, the bugs and stuff, and maybe make the AI smarter. But I should probably give some context. There's some people who probably don't even know what redfall is, and I feel like kind of bad for like leaving you in the dark if you don't know.
Sorry.
Redfall is Xbox's first big shooter. This year that they released since like Halo Infinite. It's supposed to be like a looter shooter, so think something like
it's a
new IP, something like Destiny, where you go, you kill vampires. It's all about vampires and vampire cultists. It takes place in a town called Redfall. So you kill these vampires, you get different guns, different equipment, and you have different characters and different people play on the squad. So there's like 4 different characters, and people play as different characters in the squad. And basically, it didn't execute on its creative vision. The game itself wasn't fun, along with the game also being broken. So it was a double whammy, where it's like, if the game was perfectly polished, maybe it would have gotten like 5s and 6s because it wouldn't have been broken.
But and we'll get into this in a moment with Phil Spencer's interview and what he had to say about it. But basically, there was no delaying this game in it being even an 8 out of 10. Like, there was no, this game comes out more polished, and it just didn't deliver on what its vision was supposed to be, and like they kind of got lost in the sauce with their vision for this game, and that just happens sometimes. But it sucks, but there is no, this game should have been delayed. Because it wouldn't have helped in this situation.
Yeah, and that's the sad truth of things, because he talks about, and I guess we could, like, is there anything else we want to say about Redfall besides it's sad that it
didn't do well? We can just go into Phil Spencer's interview.
Yeah,
So Phil Spencer recently had an interview with the Kinda Funny Gamescast. It was Xcast, sorry.
Yeah, the
Kinda Funny Xcast, which is Kinda Funny's podcast that is specifically about all things Xbox.
Yeah.
And you guys should definitely go listen to it if you haven't already. And they got this interview with Phil Spencer, and they had actually had it planned before all of this stuff happened.
They just got unbelievably lucky.
Yeah.
They got so lucky that it was just like, oh yeah, let's just like, have this interview. We'll have you on. We'll talk about ID at Xbox games. It's like a part of Xbox that's supposed to support indie developers, and Redfall will probably be good, so we'll start talking about Redfall. And then this happened, and Phil Spencer, the fucking the double G that he is, said, nah, fam, I'm still going on. I'm going to represent Xbox. And honestly, I think it was the right podcast, because Kinda Funny... They're so nice, but then they also straight shoot you. So it isn't
they did amazing with that interview.
Yeah, it wasn't like other podcasts where it's like they're trying to dance around the hard questions, or they're trying to be like mean to him. It felt like the proper amount.
They were very obviously there originally to have just a good time and talk, and then things changed, and they asked the hard questions, but they weren't mean about it. Like, so how does it feel now that you know that Xbox is ass.
How do you feel now that we all know you've shown that PlayStation's so much better than you?
When are you gonna resign? No.
Yeah. When are you gonna resign? Yeah, something dumb like that.
Stupid.
Are you considering resignation? It's like, I don't think so, guys.
Yeah. But thankfully, they were really just straightforward, but they got the questions asked, and Phil Spencer, he answered them.
Yes.
I think he was perfectly balanced in his answers. Obviously, he can only release so much information that stuff Xbox is working on, especially stuff related to the upcoming Xbox live event and the Starfield It's not a direct. I mean, I want to call it a Starfield direct, but that's like very Nintendo.
It's like
thing.
Xbox. So it's called, the newest thing that they're doing is this time. It was a Starfield direct the last time they did something, but this time it's just the Xbox Games Showcase. So,
and then but then they said after the showcase they're following up with a specifically Starfield direct.
Okay, I didn't know about that. Okay.
And so, which, I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like, instead of having it grouped up, they want it to be like a whole thing, yeah.
Anyways, so he can only release so much information, but Phil Spencer, I have some mad respect for him. He did not get defensive. He did not, he was honest about, and he was kind of brutally honest about how Xbox has been doing, and he said the hard stuff that people on Kinda Funny and weren't not gonna say to him.
Yes.
You know, no one in Kinda Funny said that Xbox was losing the console
race,
and Phil Spencer was like, we are in third place. Like, he had no problem saying how bad that they were doing.
That's the crazy part to me, because, it always frustrated me. It's like, does Xbox not know how badly they lost the Xbox One? Like, sometimes I get frustrated with how they're doing right now, because I'm like, guys, you lost so bad versus the PS4. Like, not that, I care about the fanboy, Sony ponies. Like, I don't care about...
We own each console.
Yes, I don't care about that. I just want everyone to be doing well. So I'm just like, but you guys lost so bad compared to 360, where you guys were doing amazingly. So it's like, do you guys not know about this? Where's the urgency here to create this amazing Xbox experience? But no, he knows that. He straight up said, we lost that generation, and it was the worst console generation to lose, because that was the beginning of the digital library. Yeah. A thing where people carry it, instead of buying games physically, which people still do.
Yeah.
But you have 10, 20, so many games, tons of games that work on the next console, and that you can bring over if you have your digital library. So if you go to a new console platform now, it now is a clean slate. So people don't want to make a clean slate anymore. If they're going over the PS5, and then there's only 2-3 new games a year, right? They still want their old PS4 catalog to play. So there just isn't as big of a difference anymore, and that has really that L has really impacted what Xbox is trying to do going forward, and their strategy. But yeah, I feel like Phil Spencer, he was very honest, and he took on a lot of the blame when he didn't have to, because yes, he's the CEO, and everyone wants to be like, everything in America is Joe Biden's issue. I mean, he has the final say on everything, right? If you think logically,
with companies too, everyone's like, it's the CEO.
It's just a CEO. Of course he has. He definitely has major sway.
Yeah.
Yes, but he didn't have to go on there. There's so many levels below Phil Spencer that he could have been like, oh well, this dude's the main dude who was working with Arcane Austin, the people who made Redfall. So I'm going to punt it off to him, and he's going to have to answer for the management issues, the non-communication issues, for all these different things. But he didn't do that. He was like, okay, Xbox, as an organization, we need to interact better with our new studios. We need to support them better with the engines. We need to, really, instead of having this hands-off approach of oh, you make your passion project, you just do your thing, good luck. They need to have a sit down with them and be like, hey, we're fucking Xbox, bro. We have so many resources. If you're struggling, let's not just you contact us, but we're gonna start contacting you, so that you know that you're always supported, and that wasn't there.
Yeah, and he talked about that. He was like, we needed to, Xbox needed to bring on Arcane, and also make it clear how many resources they had available to them, instead of kind of being on their own when making this game for Xbox. And which kind of goes into, what Xbox's vision is for the future, and a bit what he talked about working with developers and these different games that are coming out. Because that's the thing, it was for Xbox, it was an Xbox exclusive, but it was made by Arcane. It was made, Bethesda, and it goes into like their vision of what Phil Spencer talked about, which was that they're branching out in what they want to do at Xbox and the kinds of games that they want to make. And he essentially said that they want to give their developers as much creative freedom as possible to make other games. Because, I mean, think about how long they've been making Halo games. Think about how long some of these games just keep going. Like, when a developer makes a smash hit game, a ball out of the park game, and they are like, okay, time to make 5 more of those. Well, you know, like, for the next however many years, like, depending on how big it is, especially with Halo, like, it was like, this is what you are doing for the rest of your life.
Like, think about it this way. Bungie made Halo. Then after that, Halo's been hit or miss, right? If they would have acquired Bungie, put the brakes on Halo for a while, and doubled down on Destiny, they would have had Destiny seriously successful now. They would have had now Sony owns Bungie. Like, you know, and there's a lot of studios where it's like, the God of War studio, Santa Monica, they keep on making God of War games, but once they got to like the new version of God of War in the Viking mythology, they completely reset how like the game became way less arcadey, became way more story and narrative driven. They invented that series to make it feel fresh and new. And a lot of their other studios, they said, "Oh, you made Uncharted 10 billion instead of making Uncharted 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Start making more Last of Us. Make more Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
Make instead of Guerrilla Games, instead of making a Killzone 50, you know what? Let's start a new franchise." Right? And so I can see Xbox is wanting to do the same thing, but even more so. Because I talk about this in my TikTok that Sony is the king of the narrative-driven third-person action game.
Yes.
Sony is the king of the family-oriented game. And Xbox is like, you know what? What if we just had such a large variety of games within Game Pass that there's something for everyone, and everyone can play anywhere they want. They can play on xCloud, they can play on their PC, they can play on their Xbox, they can play on their Asus ROG, which guys, I'm gonna be trying to get an Asus ROG because I see how much you like your Steam Deck. But basically, the whole name of the game is so many people want them to compete on just like game for game, console for console. They want to differentiate themselves, and this is something. This is an Alex Hormozy moment. This is like your first Alex Hormozy moment. You wanted to tell them what an Alex Hormozy moment is? Do you know what an Alex Hormozy moment is? Okay, maybe I need to explain what an Alex Hormozy moment is.
Oh, I can explain now.
Okay,
what
you know.
An Alex Hormozy
yeah,
moment
what it is. What it is.
An Alex Hormozy moment is when you learn about something that is so like profound and like kind of like mind-changing and life-changing that you're like, wow, I just never would have thought about it that way. That's an Alex Hormozy moment.
That is an Alex Hormozy moment. And I learned some things from him that I immediately applied to this situation. I'm like, oh my god, Alex Hormozy.
Alex Hormozy's a real person.
Yeah, he's a real person. He's honest. He's awesome. He's awesome. Is that as a business, Xbox does not want their product to be commoditized. What that means is that it's hard or it's easy to compare their product to competitors, which means that if they're easy to compare, what does the consumer do? They just go for the lowest price. The whole point is to create a value proposition that the consumer sees and they go, this is not equal, so I don't have any good reference point for the price, so I'm willing to pay whatever is asked of me to get the service. And so Xbox, with their xCloud, their Game Pass, their all these different services, they want to become differentiated. They want to be different from their competitors, so that it's hard. And you can already see it when you compare a Switch to a PS5. That's a hard comparison.
You're like, I can't.
Like what?
No, that's one of those like I feel like I can't compare these two things together because they just aren't the same like at all.
Yeah.
And you know, like I don't feel like because the games that they produce are not comparable. And part of me kind of thinks that, and I kind of just had this like little brain blast, even while we just started talking today, was I think Xbox is trying to become, like, the king of indies.
Yeah, I could see that. Because right now,
think about how many, like, all those developers that they're supporting with their whole, like, that was
idea at Xbox.
Idea at Xbox, where they are funding like small like minority developers who need help to make their game and then immediately have it on Game Pass. Like, and then the best part is they're letting them release their game wherever they want, but it was also going on Game Pass. And which adds to that there is something for everyone. Yeah. And also think about Hi-Fi Rush. Think about how different Hi-Fi Rush is.
Yeah.
And it's not like anything that you normally would see on PlayStation. And I think Xbox is trying to make, like, that they have so much variety, not just with their indies, though, but with their mainline games. They're trying to be very different so that they stop having this comparison between Xbox games and PlayStation games. Well, they're different. You get something different from either one. Not to say that there will never be, you know, a God of War-like game on the Xbox.
Yeah, but Senua Hellblade could be that, you know?
And so that's not to say that they won't have those lineups and those matches where it is a comparison, but to me it kind of seems like Xbox is trying to separate themselves and be like, you know where the money's at right now? Indies. You know what's becoming really freaking popular? Indies. Why don't we support a shit ton of indie creators and then all of their games end up on Game Pass? So then, no, if you don't want to, you don't have to pay for them as long as you have Game Pass.
And I haven't been seeing that recently. I don't know why I haven't been connecting the dots of, like, every time I go on Big Game Pass, I'm like, oh, there's this indie on here. I don't have to pay for that anymore. Oh, I don't have to pay for that. Like, there was an indie I really wanted to play called Chained Echoes, and I kept considering buying it. And then the other day, I was just scrolling through Game Pass because, you know, I didn't have anything else to do at the moment. And I saw Chained Echoes on there. I was like, oh, another thing mentally, no, I don't have to pay for that. And so I do think, especially with the fact that, you know, indie gaming, a lot of time, what are the two ways a lot of people like to play indies? It usually isn't on a console on your TV. It's usually either on PC or on a handheld.
Yes.
And so with something like the Asus ROG Ally, that is something that is, like, going to help them kind of, it's being pushed with Game Pass so hard, is really going to help establish them in that handheld market while they're already very much established in the PC market. So it's very interesting to see, like, where they're going with this.
And personally, I think I'm happy about that. Yeah. I want, you know what, if Xbox turns into, like, diversity, the gaming console, that will make me very happy because I do want to see more, like, just different games from game developers that we would have never seen had they not, like, you know, gave them a hand and, like, was like, here's support and funding, make us this amazing game, you know, like, wherever you're from. Because they do this, like, around the world. They support different developers. And I know everyone is so used to that, like, big, like, Halo and, like, all the different, like, this is Xbox major games. And, like, they will still have those major games. But I like that they're changing their, like, you know what? We need to change.
Here's the thing.
Where our focus is.
Here's the thing. That's cool and all. But, like they're saying, they're trying to be about it for so many different types of gamers, right? They're trying to have this value proposition. Guess what? I'm the type of gamer who likes God of War. I'm the type of gamer who likes... Okay, I don't know if I like Horizon. I like the idea of Horizon.
But and you like indies too.
I do like indies, but I definitely always go towards the AAA, like big Elden Rings, the games. Like, those are, like, when I play those games, I'm like, this is why I game. When you get a good one of those, you're like, this is why. This is why movies can't overtake this. This is why TV shows can't overtake this. This is why nothing can come to in comparison to this, because this has the storytelling, this has the gameplay, this has the art style, this has the everything. It has it all. And so I want that. Xbox needs to give me one of those. I have not got a single one of those from Xbox in a long ass
time.
No,
it's a tragedy.
It's such a tragedy that
I'm not saying that I'm just saying I'm like, I'm trying to focus on like the positive things that we pulled from Phil Spencer's interview before we dive back into the negative side, which is we need more AAA games from Xbox that are high quality and work and are just good.
Yes.
And Redfall coming out and being what it is does make me concerned about Starfield, and I'm sure it makes everyone else concerned about Starfield because it's also being published by Bethesda.
And Bethesda, okay, can we talk about Bethesda has it rough because I know that Bethesda's a big company.
Yes.
People love Bethesda, hardcore fans, all sorts of stuff, but they're going to be releasing between a sandwich of Armored Core. FromSoft Elden Ring developers' new game, and Spider-Man 2 on PS5. So, not to say that especially Armored Core is going to like disintegrate its relevance. I'm just saying there's going to be direct comparison to other studios who have consistently over time made very quality polished games and will probably yet again make very fun quality polished games.
Because when's that coming out again?
Armored Core is coming out August 25th.
And then Starfield?
I think beginning of September.
I think so.
And then middle of September or end is Spider-Man. And so it's like there's going to be that direct comparison. And Bethesda is known for their jank. They make these games. I digress with Fallout 76 because that game was just a mess. But Fallout 4, Skyrim, these games that are...
God, I love Skyrim. Everyone loves Skyrim.
Yeah, they're good games, but the standard for polish keeps going up.
Yeah.
And even though recently polishing games has not been there, but I'm just saying Bethesda historically is extra known for being janky.
Yeah, and I think... this is just a hard year to have problems like this, I mean, any year is a hard year to have problems like this, but, take away the fact that you're putting out a game sandwiched between, Armored Core and, what was it?
Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But think about all of the other amazing games that are going to be coming out before that this year.
Oh.
We've got Diablo 4, which we already know is going to be a great game. We played so much of the beta.
We played like 5 hours,
and
6 hours.
We were hooked.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 looks freaking insane.
Yeah.
Like, how are you... You need, like, when you release a game like Starfield, you want people to be like, damn, this was memorable.
Yeah.
Damn, this is a good-ass game. And I love Xbox. I want them to be successful. I don't want Starfield to end up like Horizon.
And, like, here's the thing. Horizon fans will get mad at you. Horizon fans
I love Horizon, but that's the thing is Horizon was forgotten.
I see what you're saying. Okay, forgotten. I see your point now. I see your point.
I'm sorry, I should have been more clear. I don't want it to be forgotten like Horizon because what came out last year after Horizon? Elden Ring. Then later in the year, God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah,
so you know what people were not talking about at the Game Awards? Horizon. Yeah,
I do think Starfield will get... I don't know. I think because of its, of the build-up, the hype. The build-up, but just like the knowledge of Bethesda.
Yeah.
No matter what, it will be in discussion whether it's for negative or positive. While Horizon, it is a newer series, so people are apt to forget about it if it isn't amazing. I feel like, for one, negative or positive, it's either going to be is in discussion just as a joke being dunked on, or it's forcefully being put in that discussion because it is a good game. Yeah, it's a scary time for Xbox, and I am excited for the lineup. The end on some positivity with this discussion is we got Fable. Show me Fable, bro.
Oh,
Show me Fable, bro.
I was a little worried about, he did say, so in the interview, Paris Lily did ask him about, those games
Fable
that
and
we
Avowed
heard,
and all
we
those
haven't
games.
heard of
Everwild.
that we haven't heard about in a long time, and all we've seen is like a crumb, and not even of gameplay, like a crumb of a trailer.
It was like all these games have had CGI trailers, except for like Everwild.
And he was talking about, you know, he did say at the Xbox Game Showcase that they are going to be releasing more about those games, but I remember they talked about a couple of those games specifically,
Avowed,
but never talked about Fable.
Yes.
And that makes me worried.
I'm super worried because the same thing, I believe, I could be wrong, but I kind of know my stuff when it comes to Fable. I believe the creative director left Fable. If I could be wrong. I might want to double check that. But from what I know, the creative director left and they brought on a new one. But they were pretty early in development, so that may not be a red flag. But it was a red flag with something like Halo Infinite.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I am very worried about Fable. Fable is a franchise that they tried to make 2 different Fable games that got canceled that were not up to quality. And after Fable Journey, because it was Fable 3, then Fable Journey for Connect, and ever since then, they tried to make 2 more games, and twice they got canceled. And so, you know, I'm sitting here just like really hoping it pans out well, but I'm excited for the lineup. I'm excited for Avowed. I'm excited for Everwild. I'm excited for Fable. I like that they have a really cool like fantasy lineup. We love fantasy. So it's really cool that that's coming out.
Especially
and then
high fantasy. Like that high fantasy stuff. Like obviously, you know, we get a bit of fantasy with God of War, Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And we get a bit of like, you know, but we're like that high fantasy, that kind of like Lord of the Rings, or like even more like kind of funny almost. Like like and Fable is goofy.
Yes, Fable is very
goofy.
Very goofy.
But Fable's goofy, and I feel like if they just knock that game out of the park and visually looks stunning, and like, because you can have a goofy game but have it be beautiful, you know, and I feel like that they could really do that with their new Fable game. And so and
Xbox now owns all the shooters. They're like, okay, we're about to own Call of Duty, we got Halo, we got Doom, we got Wolfenstein, we got they, you know, Sony has what? Bungie now?
Yeah.
That's a kind of a little bit crazy.
They have so many.
Yeah, but we need games from all these people. So yeah, to wrap this up, what is your final thoughts on like the future of Xbox, and just like what do you want to stay confident in Xbox? What do you need?
Okay. I grew up a Nintendo kid, really, but I was also an Xbox kid. Like, Xbox games and playing Call of Duty specifically on the Xbox, and all those games, that's what I grew up playing. And I love Xbox. I love PlayStation right now, but really where my nostalgia lies is with Xbox. So I really do want to see great things from Xbox coming soon. And you know, they talked about this in the interview, that we need to start seeing some stuff. We need, like we were just talking about with the Xbox Game Showcase, we need to start seeing gameplay trailers. Not CGI trailers. We need to see gameplay trailers. And I am personally looking forward to, if Xbox is going on this line of more a diverse library, in the sense that it's like diverse into different types of game, but also from diverse developers. I am really excited to see that, because I think it will bring a much needed breath of fresh air to the gaming marketplace. And putting more money into those quote-unquote indie developers, or just developers in general, so that they can make their game less indie, you know? And it's more of like, wow, this is a good game. Not, this is a good indie game. Like, no, this is just a good game. And it's different, you know? I'm really looking forward to seeing that, but I'm also looking forward to, hopefully, Phil Spencer and them fulfilling their promise of having more clear communication when it comes to the state of their game, how it's doing, you know, not telling a half-truth when they're talking about the FPS on the
Yes.
game and how the game runs. Like their, pretty big mistake with what happened with
Redfall.
the performance mode for Redfall and it not being able to run 60 frames a second.
So crazy.
Which is freaking nuts, and them not saying anything until
God.
week before the game came out.
Horizon Forbidden West gets 120 hertz mode on it. Even if it's like later in development, like it was first 60 and then eventually got an update for that. And the Redfall can't run at 60, bro? A first-person shooter where people are usually much more like, I need my frames.
Yeah. That was not good. So and that's the thing. That's what I want from them going forward. I just want more honesty, and I want them to just push the limit a little bit more with, their clear communication and also what they're showing us, and so that we're not like, here's what's coming out 5 years from now. And then they just keep saying that, and then it's like, well, it's been 5 years. It still comes out 5 years from now?
Yeah. Here's the thing. What I want, you want honesty. Honesty and clarity about what we should expect from Xbox. And for me, if you want my opinion, make sure you follow us at TikTok. On TikTok at girlboygames. We post all of our clips, and we have other funny moments that aren't just from the podcast over there.
Our handle is at girlboygamesyt on TikTok.
At girlboygamesyt. Go search us up on TikTok and follow us. But back to my opinion. My opinion is I want consistency. What that means is, I was gonna hit you guys with a joke of like, I don't care about anything else. Just do me Fable, make it good, and I don't give a shit. Which is kind of true.
Which is kind of
true. But honestly, I just want consistency. If we get a new game every quarter, whether that is, or even like 2-3 times a year, maybe not every quarter, but
he said they have games lined up for every quarter.
And so, I will say every quarter because that can be different scales of games. It doesn't have to be a AAA release every quarter.
Course.
And so, if we get a game every single quarter, it'll make me feel like there's value in Xbox, but also it won't hit as hard with, like, hey, Redfall hits really hard because it feels like there's been no games. Yeah. It was like Hi-Fi Rush than this, but we're at the very beginning of them constantly releasing games. If they consistently release games every single quarter, guess what? Some games could be 7s and 8s, and every once in a while you get that like 9 or 10 out of 10. But then when the flop happens, when the 4 out of 10 happens, the 5 or 6 out of 10 happens, people don't get impacted as much because they're like, hey, a quarter ago we got an 8 out of 10. 2 quarters ago we got a 10 out of, or a 9 out of 10 amazing game.
And I'm still playing
it. And before then it's just been consistency. This game may have flopped. That sucks. It happens. Let's move on to the next quarter. Let's get a new game.
There's something to look forward to in the next quarter.
Yeah. So I want, when he says, there's a lot of games coming out that, that I've seen that it seems like we're about to be releasing games quarterly. Execute on that, because I think it will help a lot the perception of Xbox's brand and how critical gamers are. Because gamers, while they're like frothing at the mouth, like, I want to just like reel into someone. I just want to destroy someone for no good reason. If someone looks at me the wrong way, I'm just gonna fucking shit on them, right? That's what gamers are like, right? They may not even have played something. They might not even have tried something, and they just want to be like, I'm going to make a whole TikTok dedicated to shitting on this, even though I've never played it, right? That's the ideology behind a lot of gamers out there. But also, gamers have a short attention span. They'll be like, I'll make a TikTok dedicated to that. Then 2 days later, be like, what game? What TikTok? What's the password to that? What was I even doing 2 days ago? They have a very short attention span. So, if a game flops, for a week, 2-3 weeks, people will be shitting on it. But then a new game will come out. They'll forget about that game. They'll be talking about this game. Then your next game will come out. That game will be good. And everyone will be like, whoa, good game. Yes, I love a good game. Right? So that's why it's important to have consistency. Am I wrong? No. What?
Just your description about those people.
Well, it's just like you have 2 types of people. The people... It's like you have the silent people who are the nice, kind people. the people who we're talking to on this podcast, right? We're just having a good time. We're just discussing. We're just a bunch of gamers, of jamers. We're just a bunch of jamers, right? And then you have the people who they think they know everything. They think that they can run both Sony and Microsoft at the same time better than Phil Spencer while playing every single game and having perfect opinions. Then there's that other group of gamers that you're like, ooh, can I like stay away from you? Like, I'm just trying to have a good time, bro. These things called video games. I'm playing games. But I think that's everything we have to say on the Redfall Phil Spencer interview future of Xbox discussion.
Yes.
Next is the Tears of the Kingdom Switch.
Oh, I need to go get it.
Is it right there?
Oh, it's
yeah,
right
it's
here.
right there. Ooh.
In my Animal Crossing case. I need to pre-order the Tears of the Kingdom case.
The game
and
everything.
The game. I still haven't pre-ordered the game. So I bought something.
Show us you bought something.
I bought something.
Something.
I mean, I pre-ordered it like a month ago now, and then I picked it up last week. I got the Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED.
Bring it close to him. Let him see the glory. Oh man, guys.
Look how pretty it is.
And on the back, it has like.
It's kind of hard to. Oh, hold on.
Ooh, you got it. Okay, you got it.
It's gonna that.
Nice.
There it is. You can kind of see the swirls.
And I wish I had the dock on me too.
Yeah.
But the dock is absolutely beautiful. It's white and gold, and it matches like the front of this docked with the controllers on each side of the dock, and then the back being white. I mean, it flowing with. Oh God, it looks so pretty. And recently, I've been prepping for Tears of the Kingdom by playing Link's Awakening, which I had not played before.
And you've been wanting to play for a while.
I've been wanting to play for a while. It's such a cute game. It's so... And I hadn't... Okay, as much of a jamer as I am, I had no idea that it was a remake.
Oh, okay.
I thought... I didn't realize... What was it on? I think... Do not quote me on this. Game Boy Advanced? It was like... It's a pretty old game. I think. Or, hold on. I need to not be a fool.
While she's looking that up, you guys should go and give her a follow on TikTok at melthemaneater. She makes amazing magic content, amazing gaming content, very fun content. And, if you're on TikTok, get me to the Bearded Panda, or just Bearded Panda on TikTok. So, did you find out whether it is...
Yeah, the original game came out... June 6, 1993.
That is crazy. And wasn't it on DS? I think it might have been a DS.
1993?
Wait. Not DS. Sorry. Game
Boy. Like, hey, yo.
Game Boy, guys. Game Boy. I think it was on Game Boy. I could be. My timeline with the game. Guys, 1993. I'm not even born. So don't expect me to have this in-depth knowledge of the console sequencing. Maybe I'll take some time to learn all that.
It was the Game Boy. It was and it was in 1992.
God tier.
And it came out on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, which was the big chunky
Am I not
one.
God tier with my gaming knowledge? It's because I looked it up like a week or two ago, and I think I figured it out.
But this, it's just a really pretty. It's just a really, really pretty... Oh, God. Hold on.
She's going through the... Okay.
You can,
The screen looks super nice. You can't tell in the video, but it just looks amazing. And
I'm realizing because...
The screen is a little bit bigger than what it is on the Switch, which is, if you get any OLED, it's going to be... Wait, what?
I'm realizing because we're showing them it on the thing. It's it has an OLED screen, but there's no way to know what an OLED screen looks like unless you're looking at an OLED screen.
Yeah.
So even if we're showing you the OLED screen on here, you won't know unless you're watching through an OLED TV or something. But I digress.
If I compared side by side,
you would see the color difference.
You could see the color difference maybe. But yeah, I've been playing Bowser's Fury a lot and Link's Awakening. We finally started playing through Cuphead and Mugman together.
We were honestly blazing. We're gods.
We're kind of gods at Cuphead and Mugman. But I love the Switch. I do not regret the purchase. It definitely, having a bigger screen, having better colors, and also just having that hype for Tears of the Kingdom, and knowing
Yes.
that I'm going to play Tears of the Kingdom on the Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED makes me so excited. And also just, Matt, if you follow me on Twitter or on TikTok at melthemaneater, you will know I love plants, and I love gaming, and I love a nice, clean, pretty setup, and I'm currently kind of getting together a, like, white, and, like, matcha sage green setup, just because it matches my vibe, and the Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED matches it perfectly, with the gold and the white and the green. It, like, is such an amazing, like, piece to have with my setup on my desk. It looks beautiful.
I'm so jealous. Guys, for years and years, I was a little kid. Back in the day, I was a little kid. I know, it's hard to believe, but I was a little child.
Yeah.
And when I was a young lad, I wanted a game-themed console so freaking bad. It all started with the Gears of War Xbox 360.
Yeah.
That thing I wanted so bad. It was red. Look, it's still to this day is okay. Honestly, okay, I can't say that. It is the second best looking game special edition console I've seen. It's from the official obviously people make special edition. They'll add like Steam coming out of the it looks like a steampunk Xbox. Of course, they do better. But I'm saying from Xbox or Nintendo or PlayStation, it was the best special edition. The second best, only to the Switch. I think that Switch is number one. But it was number two. And I wanted it so bad. And I almost got it. But guess what? I didn't get it. And the first one I've seen in person, held it, enjoyed it, is this Switch. And so I think, even for me, even though she got it, obviously we love each other. We're going to be living together.
Yeah.
Soon, but I get that second hand, like, yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, no, we basically share. Like, you use my Steam Deck sometimes, like, you use my Switch sometimes, like, we get a console, we share it, know? The only thing that we don't, like, the only thing that makes it hard sometimes is when, and it's why we have 2 PlayStation 5s, is because we can't share our PlayStation 5. We both like PlayStation games.
Yes.
We want to play it at the same time. So it's like, well, we're going to want to play Final Fantasy 16 at the same time, so we're just going to both need PS5s.
Yes.
We've already both had PS5s for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
But anyways, and so, and I think obviously when you're in a relationship, and you're in a relationship for as long as we have, like, you and your partner rub off on each other.
Yeah.
And I definitely think, like, he rubbed off on me with the Sony games, and then I rubbed off on him with the handheld consoles. Yeah. Like, especially recently, because this year I got the Steam Deck. Obviously, I upgraded to the Switch OLED, Tears of the Kingdom one.
Yeah.
And he has fallen in love with playing handheld games.
Yes.
And that, to the point where I was like, oh man, the Asus ROG Ally's coming out, like,
man,
should we get it? Like, because, we're not big enough content creators that we just get shit for free.
Yes, not at all. We aren't even close to...
Not even close, which, if you want to help us, drop us
a sub. Drop a sub
on YouTube. But, I was like, man, should we get this? And he was like, if we got the money, throw it in the bag, Yeah. Because first of all, it has, and I don't want this to turn into me talking about the Ally, but it's a really good, there's a lot of things that make this handheld very marketable.
Yes.
And very desired. And
but
so
there's a thing about it that, okay, I'm excited for the extra power and everything, and honestly, I don't even want to, like, if we end up getting it, I'm not going to consistently run it at, like, it has like a 1080p screen with 120 refresh stuff. No, I'm going to use the power so I can run it at the lower settings for longer. Honestly, like 720p, 60 frames, 30 frames for longer. But the thing that I wish it had, that the Switch OLED has it in its name. OLED. I've become such, like, I love OLED. I love color, and I feel like,
which I think I rubbed off on you on that too.
Well, I don't even think necessarily you rubbed off on me. I think it's just something that, for so long we were in this resolution race, and now its resolution's gotten so good that
everything's 4K.
That
everything's 2K.
By accident, you rubbed off on me because I got my monitor for my PC, and your monitor has better colors than mine. And it's not even like, it isn't OLED to LED.
No.
Like,
it's like specific. I wish, and this is where like my lack of like technical terms
comes
isn't going
in,
to help. But I got the monitor. It was a MSI monitor. And there was something about it specifically, like the colors were like enhanced. There was a bit more contrast. The colors were just a lot more pretty. And for me, that's all I cared about. Like the resolution looked fine. Like you could not tell the difference between that and like whatever LG monitor, Samsung, whatever monitor I was looking at.
Yes.
And I just was like, this is pretty colors. I'm getting this one. And I have 2 of those monitors and have not regretted the decision ever since then. And you were like, man, your monitors look so good.
Yeah, like, because I think it has a wider color gamut, and like, yeah, it looks deeper, it looks better. And so I was like, oh man, like, I want like an OLED monitor, an OLED TV. I want this shit's expensive, bro.
Oh
guys, this OLED's expensive. We went to Costco the other day, and we were thinking, oh, what if we got like a 45-inch, like a slightly, not that 45 inch small, but like smaller than
what our like living room TV.
Yeah, 55 inch, 65 inch, right? What if we got a smaller TV, but it was OLED instead? The OLED TV cost like as much.
$1,000.
Yes, it costs as much as like a really nice 65 or like even like 70-inch TV.
At that point, we could just
crazy.
At that point we could get like a 4K LG still pretty TV that's like 70 inches or something like that. For cheaper. Like,
it was crazy. Oh, I don't know about cheaper, but around the same price.
Around the same price, because like this tiny little OLED TV was like $1,000.
Worth.
But
anyway, yeah.
Going into the handhelds, it would be nice if the Asus ROG Ally had that. We were like every time a new handhelds comes out, we're like,
OLED?
What if it had OLED? What if they hopped on the OLED train?
Yeah, and the Asus, specifically talking about the Asus, is, the Game Pass on it, that's pretty huge. But I was looking through Game Pass, and it suddenly made me want an Asus ROG so much more, because there's a lot of indie games. But here's the thing, is honestly for me, when I hop on my console, I'm like, why am I not playing Jedi Survivor? This, that. Not because indie games are bad, but I just associate that with either PC or handheld gaming. And so for me to like play those games on like a handheld would be so nice. But I digress with Asus ROG. If we get that, we will update you guys.
We'll make another. We'll have talking about handhelds and like the Steam Deck and the Asus ROG now that we have more information about it.
Yeah.
And even the Switch or other stuff, maybe we can. We've already talked about handhelds in the past,
yes.
But maybe if we could specifically talk about the Asus in a future podcast.
Definitely.
But, anyways, Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED, fantastic. Do not regret the decision to buy it. Only my wallet regrets it.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. I don't think there's anything else you have to say on this besides it's sick. Everything looks great on it. Here's my 2 cents on if people being like, should I get this? Because I know everyone's like, oh, but what if another Switch is coming out? They've been teasing a Switch Pro for 5 billion years and it's still not here, but this could be the year. If you do not already have a Switch at all, get the Switch OLED. Get the Switch OLED Tears of the Kingdom, whatever. If you can get your hands on a Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED, do it. Yeah.
If you do not already have a Switch, get a Switch OLED. And if you have a Switch and haven't upgraded, then I would say if you want to, do it. Because I don't regret the decision. It is nice to have like a newer Switch. Because the Switch has been around for a long time. A lot of people's Switches, at this point, if you got yours back in 2017 when it came out, it's probably a little buggy. And it's probably a little bit run down. I would say if you want to, upgrade. Because I think it's great. Obviously the only really difference is that the screen is bigger
It has OLED, which for me is, I always play the Switch handheld, so worth it. And it also has an Ethernet cable in the dock. And so I think, I know my brother, which is, I think his name's Justice PNW on Twitter. My brother is a professional Smash Ultimate player. Having an Ethernet cable during COVID for the Switch would have been huge, except it didn't have one.
Yes.
And so having Ethernet, if you like to play fighting games online, or if you like to do anything really online with the Switch, and you want that fast, that fast internet, I would heavily suggest go get one. It has Ethernet to the dock. I would say it was worth it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I completely agree with everything you said. And yeah, I think that's everything we have to say.
Yep.
I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to say that in the future, we have been doing a lot of current event stuff just because, redfall and the interview and all these different things and past podcasts, there has been a lot of current event sort of stuff going on. But we do want to do more topical podcasts. If you guys have any topics you guys want us to discuss, let us know. Down in the comments, tell us what you want us to discuss.
Yes, we want to have a discussion with y'all. If you comment down below, we will get back to you as soon as we can. Because we love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
And we're a slow growing channel, but we're growing, and it makes us super happy that our podcasts are getting more views. And we just want to just tell you guys how much we appreciate you for listening and for subscribing and for interacting with us.
Yes. We really, really appreciate it because it's slow going, but every single one of you is so appreciated. And we value you so much. So yeah, let us know your topics down below. We're going to start doing more topical ones, along with still some gaming news updates, probably in the second half of the podcast, depending on how big the news is. But yeah, thank you guys. Please subscribe. Go follow us on all the Twitters, but please subscribe. That is the main thing. Subscribe. Yes. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Have a good day.